Hello, this is Pharaoh Vincent, and I'm coming to you guys today with the next installment of my Path to Power series. And again, sorry, those previous two videos were recorded, I think a couple weeks ago in all honesty. It just took me forever to get them uploaded. You know, kids. This video, though, we're going to kick right back into the series itself. And the big thing with this particular video and also this particular series is I really want to spend time on different aspects of the game that will help you grow your power. Now, the biggest thing that I think should be discussed is what heroes do you skill up? What heroes do you awaken? How do you spend your legendary soul stones when you get them versus how do you spend your epic soul stones when you get them? Who's really good for it? And so on. Now, this isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. Everyone's account is going to be a little different. But I want to give you some tips on how I personally assess those need to skill up characters versus the ones that you don't. And really it comes down to targeting, right? So a great example of targeting is on Elowen. I actually was very lucky. I got Elowen very early into the game. And with Elowen, her skills are not all required to be maxed out. In fact, this is the only one that does, and she's abnormal because for most heroes you really want to get their ultimates maxed out, but honestly maxing out her ultimate just really reduces cost, and I don't normally need to spam this skill. You can make an argument for the new guild boss just because there is that higher cleanse amount that you're going to end up needing, so having that extra 100 rage off might not be a bad thing. But when you run Elowen, especially in a rage regen comp like I do, you don't feel this 100. So, anyways, that's its own animal. But we can talk about that animal too. But just to get back to the point of the skills, right? Start with the ones, especially the characters that you're going to be using a lot. So for me, Valeria is in 2 of my arena comps. I actually use Valeria in AoE right now because I don't really have a better choice, so to say. Although I am starting to phase her out for Uridin, who I just recently got. But you'll notice that, like, she is close to max skill. Hex, who, without a doubt in my mind, is one of my most used heroes, he's maxed out. Silas is maxed out, right? These are cracked heroes who are really good. And both of them got their A1s through, like, me actually gaining copies of them. So I didn't use any soul stones on them because I just don't see a reason to. I personally use my legendary soul stones on guys like Valderon, who I got lucky and pulled. And the reason I use them on guys like Valderon is because he's going to be very hard to get copies of. People like Praetus, Valderon, right? These ancient exclusive lords, especially if you're planning on using them, and I use the heck out of Valderon. They are very good to both max skill, but also to spend your legendary soul stones on. Other heroes that would be smart is any of your limited time heroes. So if you really liked Felicia, which don't, she's not that good. But you know, maybe you're a big fan of Reeve. Reeve wouldn't be a bad idea because he's not in the normal summoning pool. So the chances of you awakening him are a lot less. And so spending those stones, the soul stones, right? The legendary soul stones when you get them, very good spot to get the awakenings for these kinds of heroes. But somebody like Dasomi, they're in the regular pool. Abomination, definitely not, right? You could argue for Valkyria, Valkyria? Sure. You can argue for her, but like, she's rare, I guess, but even then, she's still in the regular pool. I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely don't do Volca. You'll get her for free. And again, people like Dahlia who are event specific, right? A Nora coming up, right? These heroes who are only around for an event. Those ones are the ones I would start to really focus on. Guys like Crowdor, who you fused for, they eventually add them into the pool, and those guys don't bother, right? I don't know what they're doing with Micah yet. I know she's not currently in the pool, but I'm assuming that they're going to do something to fix this, because otherwise, how are you going to awaken her? She wouldn't be a bad option, but you really don't need to, like... You don't need her awakenings. They're really not that good. Like, her A3 is terrible. You're going to have 100% crit anyways. And, like, her A5's cool, I guess. That's it. I don't know. Her A1 is a lot less useful than it sounds like, right? 150 speed on a 2-second interval marksman isn't that much, right? So think about those kinds of things. When it comes to epic heroes, I still have the same kind of priority list. Ancient exclusive, meaning red summon exclusive heroes from that pool are always good. So I believe Lunaria is. I can double check that here in a second, but I'm pretty sure she is. I don't think Hollow is exclusive to that, but she's extremely rare and extremely important, so I highly recommend getting her A5 as fast as humanly possible, because all of her awakenings are great, right? Like, this is perfect. That helps. This is great for the A5 when you get down to it. This is amazing. And guess what? Her A5 makes every single person have up to a 75% increase to your rage regen until the battle ends. So, trust me, it goes up fast. And that's kind of my point earlier about Elowen, right? When you run her with a rage regen comp. So usually I run Elowen and Hollow together, because between the two of them, you can usually cycle anyone's rage hella fast with just two heroes. So, things to think about. But for the most part, you know, a lot of these heroes like Abizu, right, who was a shard event. I'm assuming she's in the pool. Again, I'll look for Abizu and Rourke and some of these other guys that they just recently released. But like Isolde, I know was a shard event from before I started. And getting copies of these kinds of guys, they're always going to be rare. They're always good for the epic soulstones. I actually used one on Estrid just so that I could get the basic extended range. You don't have to, but she is kind of rare, you know what I mean? Go with the rare people. That's really what it boils down to. Go with the rare ones and the ones that you're going to be using a lot. And make sure that you start with the ones you're really using, right? For me, Lunaria's A5 is a very big deal. The only reason why I will not use a soulstone on it right now is because I know she will eventually end up in the shop over here, which is another way to get soulstones, is through the Awakening shop. Always pay attention to who the legendary hero is. Obviously, Zealous is hella not worth it, so I'm not getting rid of anyone for that. Oh, man, that's useful, though. I might try to get that before the end of this week. We'll see. If I get some Kai duplicates or something, I'll gladly get rid of him. But you can kind of see, like, when you come into the shop, I've bought Scorch. Is Scorch rare? No. But I have a ton of the epic hero soulstones at this point. These two are already maxed out, so I can ignore them. And Scorch, yeah, might as well level. My Infernal, like, roster is pretty pitiful. So I've been building that up for faction trials. But that's how you should think about this game, is like, okay, who do you have in your roster? And who's going to give you the biggest benefit towards the next tier, right? For a lot of people, the first thing that you really need to do is get yourself a very thick, tanky, meaty boy, right? Somebody who can hit hard, right? Wrath is a great example of an early game one, right? Abomination. Some of these thick boys, even Volca to that measure, right? Some of these thick boys, make sure that you're getting them skilled up. Just because you're going to need them to carry you to the next set of content. And then from there, target skills. When it comes to somebody like Regulus, I don't really care about his ult being maxed. Yeah, I happen to get it, which that's my luck. But I would have preferred it if it was this skill right here, which is his Lionheart. And that's just because he becomes immune to all damage one time per deployment. And I would love to have this maxed out to the, 12 seconds that it could be. Why? Because that makes him just a little bit better for the thing that I need him for, which is basically to drop him to die instantly to a mechanic of some kind. Great example is like Void Rift this week. So I'm going to be using somebody like Regulus, or Torador, right? These kind of guys that have that mechanic where they can die, air quote, and be resurrected. Those kind of guys are very good for tanking these stupid bugs that's suicide. So, think through the game, think through the problems, understand what it is that you're trying to do, and spend your skill points and your skill stones appropriately, especially early on. Hex is a great example. I don't need to have him at all maxed out. This skill, I would have been happy to leave that at the base copy and not even think about it, because quite frankly, an extra 10 seconds off this, I don't even care. But because I'm the most unlucky human on the face of the planet, this was the first thing that got maxed out, followed shortly by that, and then I got the ult last, which is annoying. We can play this game a lot, right? Another great example. Okay, hey, great, I got the demon slaying stance, but not this. Or that. Right? Or that. I would have even taken that over, because, this is great. For extra rage, I guess. Or, I think Reeve is another great one. Yeah, I got all of these skills. I want this one. But this is the skills I got. Right? I think there's another really funny one. Dahlia was that way for me for a while, but I did end up getting the two that I wanted. And so now I can stop, right? Because I really don't need this. This is whatever, 3% crit damage isn't a big deal, nor is getting an extra 10% damage to my auto. It's not that big of a deal. But then you'll have heroes like, where is he? Torador. There you are. Look at this. This is my luck, guys. I want this skill. I maxed out all three of those, and this is still level 1. That is what I'm talking about when I say it is luck-based when you upgrade a skill. So now I no longer have to worry about luck. It's just extremely costly, and honestly, I have better heroes coming up to spend these on, so I'm saving them up until I can get Praetus. So my plan is to not spend any skill crystals for a couple of weeks or whenever it ends up coming out. Again, think through your account, think through what it is that would be beneficial for you. And if you guys are stuck on something, feel free to leave a comment. Hey, is this hero good for my specific roster? I'm using these kinds of heroes. Here's the heroes I'm using. This is what they would be good for. Should I max skill them, or should I max out certain skills? I know for a fact that there's going to be a lot of people who are more than willing to help you with those questions in the comments, myself included. So feel free, leave a comment, and we would be happy to kind of go through, hey, is that worth it or is it not worth it? So, pro tip. You could save yourself a lot of time, headache, and certainly wasting of epic and especially legendary soul stones. because the only real way to get them in earnest is through the dragon, and there's a chance you'll get one. It's not even a guarantee. So, as always, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you for watching to this point in the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. More Path to Power videos are coming out, and specifically, the next one is going to be on gear. And not just what sets are good, which is irrelevant, you'll find out, but what stats do you need and how much of them do you need? And is attack the best stat in the entire game? You'll have to stay tuned to the next video. As always, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you on the next one.